What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Nash, and today I'm going to be talking about unpaid internships. So I was talking to a friend and this came up. Which one is better, paid or unpaid internships? My answer was unpaid is better. Now I'm going to explain why before you click off the video. So I wanted to make this quick video so I can explain, and hopefully you guys can, get something out of this. So before I even get into the points, I want to give a little history. I've done unpaid internships when I was in high school. My high school senior year, I worked at a hospital because I wanted to be a nurse. I also worked at a software company because I wanted to be a programmer. I was in high school. When I went to college, I've never done an unpaid internships. I've always been able to find internships that were paid. Why are unpaid internships better? Now, the way I look at this is that an internship is essentially another course that you're taking, right? So think about taking a class in college, right? There's a structure, things you learn. You can make the most out of it if you want by asking questions, going to the professor's office hours to get additional help. You can do a lot of things to make the most out of the class that you're paying to take, right? Now, when it comes to an unpaid internship, you're not going to do something you don't want to do, right? You're not going to do an unpaid internship in accounting when you're a science major. You're not going to do that. You're going to pick something in science, right? Because you're not getting paid for it, right? You're giving them free labor and you're getting the knowledge, the industry experience, you're getting the work environment, you're getting the company culture. All right, so this leads me to the point that you actually learn something. So we can compare this to a paid internship, right? So let's be honest. The first thing we look for is how much are they going to pay me, right? That is the first thing I've looked for. I've had a lot of internships when I was in college, and the first thing I look for is how much are they going to pay me, right? And everything else came after the pay, right? So this already shifts my focus on what I'm looking for in an internship. I might learn something, but I'm going to be focused on the money more. And one thing I did realize was that when I was actually doing the free internships in high school, I was actually finding myself like the one I did at a software company when they were building a software for a big company. I was able to work on the project, and the more I worked on the project, the more I realized I didn't know anything about this. The more I realized that I didn't know certain things, the more I went to the library to find books on those topics, and I was teaching myself, right? The more I found myself asking people that were programmers or the CEO or the CFO, I was really young, so it was okay for me to approach the CEO and ask, questions. I had every right to ask questions since I was working for free. I was asking a lot of questions because I actually wanted to learn, and I was passionate about computer programming. And like I said before, when I was in college, I never did an unpaid internship, right? And when I was looking for internships, I always had different options. Sometimes I was able to get multiple offers for internships, right? You apply to a bunch of them and you interview for a bunch of them and you get offered 2 or 3, right? And my deciding factor was how much are they going to pay me? I had one that was paying me $8 an hour, that was offering to pay $8 an hour. Another one, 12, another one, 15. Guess which one I picked? $15. But imagine if those were unpaid, all of them. What would I look for? I would look for something that I would actually enjoy doing, something that I would want to learn more about. All right, so moving on to the next point, right? We're going to look at this from the employer's point of view, right? When it comes to the employers, they care about the bottom line, right? How much are they paying you? And that's something about employers that a lot of people want to deny, is that they want to pay you the least amount of money for the most amount of work they could get from you, right? So here's an example. You could be getting paid, let's say $30,000 a year, and you could be the hardest worker. If you never ever ask for a raise, if you never ask for a promotion, they're going to keep paying you that amount of money because they're getting the most amount of work for paying a minimum. Now, think about internships, right? You're getting paid money and you're entitled to overtime. If they ask you to work overtime, they have to pay you for it, right? Which is more money coming out of their pocket. So for the most part, they're going to cut you off when it comes to overtime. You're not going to be allowed to do overtime, or you're not really given the option to do overtime because they don't want to pay a lot of money, especially a company that has a lot of interns and it's not a really, really big company. And why would you want to do overtime? Maybe because the project is taking a little longer. Now, if you don't get to do overtime, you're missing out on learning different parts of that specific project. And most of the time, you're not going to be the only one working on the project. There's someone who supervises you, and that person, they're going to do overtime and they're going to work on that project. When you show up next morning, it's completed, right? You missed the last part of the project. Now, that defeats the purpose of learning, right? But imagine if this was an unpaid internship. They don't have to worry about paying you overtime. What's going to happen? Well, it's time for you to go home. Do you want to stay? Do you want to learn more? And if you're really passionate about that internship or project, you would want to stay, right? So you can learn more. So the point I'm trying to make is that employers are more willing to teach you if they don't have to pay you, right? Because they're not losing anything. They're getting a free labor and they don't really have to do anything too extra for you. You're just joining on existing projects. Now, if you are doing an internship for a small, mid-sized company that does, that offers an internship once in a while and they don't really have an internship program that they do every year, sometimes they might not even ask you to come back, right? Because they have to pay you. But if it was a free and paid internship, you have more chances of being invited back to learn more because they don't really have to pay you, right? They're not really losing anything. They're gaining free labor. Now, as a disclaimer, I'm not saying that every company is going to be like that. This is based on my personal experiences. All right. So now that we've talked about that, how can we make paid internships a lot better? If you're going to be applying for a paid internship, go for something you're passionate about, something that you really care about, something you want to learn. That's going to allow you to ask the questions that are needed to be asked, right? For you to learn. But if you are doing something because it pays more money and you don't really care about it, you're not going to bother to ask the questions. And a good way to look at internships is that it's a course, it's a class you're taking. If you're taking a class and you want to make the most out of it, you ask questions, you go to the office hours, right? After the class, you practice outside of class. That's how you make the most out of a class. You want to learn as much as you can. All right, so that is pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. If you agree or disagree, let me know in the comment section below. But thank you so much for watching. Make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button below if you haven't already, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.